Hey everybody, Marty Mazzora. I want to talk to you once again about trade, but I'm going to title this one The Aging of America. A friend of mine called me recently, concerned about the stock market, read something somewhere that said the baby boomers growing older will therefore be more conservative and buy less stocks. Therefore, the stock market's going to be under pressure long term. I would add that the economy could be under pressure as well, because as we get older, we put more pressure on our social programs, more pressure on the deficit, higher taxes, that could weigh on the economy too. But I said, in light of all those concerns, I honestly think in a global context, that's still a somewhat narrow view, because we are just 4% of the world's population. Developed markets in total are just 15%, which leaves 85% of the world's people living in what we call emerging. Not aging, mind you, but emerging or rising markets. That would be 6 billion people, men, women, and children, each pursuing his and her own objectives in need of infrastructure, energy, education, technology, a lot of the things that we produce quite nicely here in the U.S. And interestingly, the companies that comprise the S&P 500, on average, 50% of their revenue literally comes from these emerging markets. Intel, it's 82%. Coca-Cola, it's 75%. So make no mistake, my friends, we need to keep those trade routes wide open. Now, I recently illustrated the benefits of free trade. I'm just gonna rush through those real quickly because that's what makes this particular illustration flow. I talked about offshoring or outsourcing of jobs, and the fact that that actually gives us access to goods cheaper than what we'd have to pay for them were they made in the U.S., which gives the consumer surplus that he and she then allocates or spends to U.S. job-producing activities. That when we invest and spend dollars over there, well, dollars are just claims against U.S. stuff. So that comes back to be captured by U.S. exporters. I mentioned Intel and Coca-Cola, and these would be jobs in those industries. And so, folks, once again, this free trade and offshoring and outsourcing, some of these tough concepts for people to grasp, actually, without question, result in a better economy for you and me. Now, if, like my friend, you're very concerned about the stock market long term, well then, you definitely want to make sure that these folks have U.S. dollars to spend, that as they produce products that we enjoy, that we indeed buy those, because as I suggested here, it's what's best for us. But also, what happens? Their lives get better as well, and these are U.S. dollars that, as I said, have to come back. And then guess what? They become investors in U.S. assets as well, potentially picking up the slack created by this. So, folks, once again, if you're concerned about this, then you must become rabid free trade advocates, and you must educate all your friends and relatives as well. Partly because the politician does not believe, and I think accurately so, that most of us get it, and therefore they exploit that misconception terribly. So we need to educate ourselves and then educate our politicians that we now understand the value of free, unfettered international trade. Thanks once again for watching and listening, and I will no doubt be back at you soon. Take care.